Hello, New York Yankees fans. We have brand new exclusive videos and the latest news for you. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join our channel and give this video a like. It's crucial to get exclusive access to the latest updates. The whispers started the way they always do in the Bronx, quietly at first, almost like a rumor carried by the wind between the old stories of legends past and the anxious hopes of a fan base that lives on tradition and superstition. People began to talk about a new figure walking through the organization, someone whose presence alone seemed to bend attention in his direction, someone tall, powerful, and impossible to ignore. The name that kept surfacing was Spencer Jones, and the comparisons came immediately, almost automatically, as if the city itself needed a new symbol to project its dreams onto. They say this is not just another prospect, not just another young player with tools and potential, but a presence that feels familiar, like an echo of something the Yankees have always believed in. The idea, spreading among fans and insiders, is not about replacing anyone in a literal sense, but about continuity, about the mythology of the franchise demanding a figure who looks the part and carries the aura. The rumors suggest that within the walls of the organization, there is a quiet excitement, a sense that this could be the next great physical and emotional centerpiece. People talk about the way he moves, the way the ball sounds when it leaves his bat, and how his shadow seems longer than most. In New York, that kind of talk grows fast, feeding expectations and imagination, turning a name into a story before it ever becomes a reality. What fuels this speculation even more is the symbolic weight attached to the idea of a new judge, a phrase that carries enormous meaning without needing explanation. Aaron Judge is not just a player. He is an archetype, a modern embodiment of power, leadership, and marketable charisma. The rumor surrounding Spencer Jones is not claiming he already is that figure, but that the organization might see in him the raw ingredients of something similar, perhaps something that can evolve naturally over time. Insiders love to hint that the Yankees are always thinking several steps ahead, always preparing for the future while managing the present. In that context, Jones becomes a fascinating projection, a canvas onto which long-term plans can be painted. The speculation suggests that coaches and executives see his physical profile and imagine how it might translate under the bright lights, how it might intimidate opponents before the first pitch is even thrown. Fans, meanwhile, begin to dream loudly, because dreaming is part of the deal when you follow this team. They imagine towering home runs, highlight reels, and that unmistakable sense of inevitability when a star steps into the box. The rumor thrives because it connects the past, the present, and the future into one narrative thread that feels uniquely Yankee. Another layer of this speculation revolves around timing and patience, two concepts that rarely sit comfortably with a fan base accustomed to immediate impact. The talk around Spencer Jones suggests that the organization is aware of the pressure, but is trying to frame the story differently. Instead of rushing him into an impossible role, the rumor implies a slow burn, a careful shaping of expectations. People close to the situation supposedly believe that letting the comparisons breathe, rather than forcing them, is the smartest approach. Yet even with that intention, the comparisons refuse to stay quiet. Every scouting report, every casual mention seems to circle back to size, power, and presence. The idea is not that he needs to become the next face overnight, but that he could grow into a role that feels natural when the moment arrives. In New York, growth is rarely linear, and the rumor acknowledges that challenges will come. Still, the fascination persists because fans are always searching for the next figure who can carry the emotional weight of the franchise. Jones becomes that figure in conversations, in bar debates, in late-night radio calls, and on social media timelines that thrive on speculation and hope. What makes this rumor particularly compelling is how it blends tangible traits with intangible mythology. Spencer Jones is discussed not only in terms of what he can do on the field, but how he might fit into the larger story the Yankees tell about themselves. This team has always leaned into icons, into players who feel larger than life, and the speculation suggests that Jones has the physicality that invites that narrative. People talk about how he looks in the uniform, how the pinstripes seem designed for someone of his stature, and how that visual alone sparks imagination. The rumor claims that marketing minds within the organization quietly take note of these things, understanding that baseball in New York is as much about image as it is about performance. Fans pick up on that instinctively, sensing when a player feels like a Yankee before the results even come. That feeling fuels patience, excitement, and sometimes unrealistic expectations. Still, the speculation continues because it satisfies a collective desire to believe that the next great story is already in motion, waiting for the right chapter to begin. As the narrative grows, it also invites skepticism because every rumor needs its counterbalance. Some voices caution against crowning anyone too early, reminding everyone how heavy the label of next can be. Yet even those cautious voices contribute to the conversation because they acknowledge the unusual level of attention surrounding Jones. The rumor does not claim certainty. It thrives on possibility. It suggests that the Yankees are intrigued, fans are restless, and the media is eager to frame a compelling storyline. In that mix, Spencer Jones becomes a symbol of potential rather than a finished product. The speculation feeds on silence from the organization, on half-heard comments, and on a natural tendency to connect dots that may or may not exist. In New York, that is enough to keep a story alive. The idea of a new judge is not a promise, but a question, one that invites endless discussion and fuels the imagination of a fan base always hungry for the next legend. By the time the rumor reaches its current intensity, it feels less like idle chatter and more like a shared fantasy that people willingly suspend disbelief to enjoy. Spencer Jones, in this narrative, is both a real player and a projection of everything fans want the future to be. The Yankees, whether intentionally or not, benefit from that energy because it keeps attention focused forward. The speculation does not need confirmation to thrive. It only needs possibility. And in a city where baseball stories are passed down like family history, the idea of a new towering figure stepping into the mythos is enough to keep everyone talking, waiting, and believing that the next chapter could be just around the corner. The second part of this rumor dives deeper into what this potential future could feel like if it ever begins to take shape in a meaningful way. The conversation around Spencer Jones shifts from pure comparison to imagination, painting scenes that fans can almost see before they happen. People start to picture the moment he would step onto the biggest stage, the cameras immediately drawn to his size and calm demeanor, the commentary inevitably circling back to familiar names from the past. The speculation suggests that the Yankees understand the power of anticipation, how letting a story grow organically can be more impactful than forcing it. Jones becomes the centerpiece of that anticipation, a player whose development is watched not just for performance, but for signs of leadership and composure. The rumor implies that those qualities matter just as much as raw power in this market. Fans begin to debate whether he has that quiet confidence, that ability to absorb pressure without being consumed by it. These debates are not based on facts alone, but on intuition and hope, which is exactly how rumors gain emotional traction. Another angle of the speculation focuses on the internal dynamics of the clubhouse and how a figure like Jones might eventually fit into that environment. The Yankees are known for a particular culture, one that values professionalism, routine, and a certain unspoken code. The rumor suggests that Jones is being evaluated not just as an athlete, but as a personality who could grow into that culture naturally. People talk about his work ethic, his willingness to learn, and his demeanor as signs that he could handle the expectations that come with wearing pinstripes. In this narrative, the idea of a new judge is less about replicating numbers and more about embodying presence. Fans latch onto that idea because it feels more realistic and more respectful of the past. The speculation frames Jones as someone who could honor the legacy without trying to mimic it directly, which is often the healthiest path in a city that loves comparisons but punishes imitation. As the rumor evolves, it also taps into the emotional cycle of the fan base, which oscillates between impatience and hope. There's an understanding, at least among the more reflective voices, that greatness in New York is rarely immediate. The speculation around Spencer Jones includes an unspoken acknowledgement that struggles would be part of the journey. Yet that does not dampen enthusiasm. It almost enhances it. Fans imagine the early challenges, the adjustments, and the eventual moments of breakthrough that would make the story more compelling. The idea of watching a player grow into his role over time appeals to a sense of narrative satisfaction. In that context, the label of new judge becomes a destination rather than a starting point. The rumor thrives because it offers a long arc, something to invest in emotionally beyond any single season or highlight. Media speculation adds another layer, because storytelling is currency in sports coverage. The Yankees, with their history, provide endless material, and Spencer Jones fits neatly into a familiar but still exciting template. The rumor suggests that analysts and commentators are eager to frame his progress within that larger story, knowing how powerful those narratives can be. Fans, in turn, consume and reinterpret those stories, adding their own perspectives and hopes. The speculation becomes a collaborative creation, shaped by many voices but anchored by one name. Jones, whether he wants it or not, becomes a focal point for discussions about the future of the franchise. That weight is part of what makes the rumors so captivating, because it highlights both the opportunity and the burden that come with such expectations. There's also a nostalgic element woven into this speculation, a longing for continuity in a sport and a city that change constantly. The idea of a new judge is comforting because it suggests stability, a familiar shape anchoring the team's identity. Spencer Jones, in this narrative, is less about novelty and more about reassurance. Fans want to believe that the qualities they admire will persist, that the team will always have a figure who represents strength and leadership. The rumor feeds that desire, offering a vision of the future that feels connected to the present rather than radically different. That connection matters deeply in a place where history is not just remembered but actively lived. In the end, this rumor remains what it is, an elaborate speculation fueled by hope, imagination, and the unique psychology of following the Yankees. Spencer Jones stands at the center of it not because he has already achieved something monumental, but because he represents possibility. The idea of him becoming a new judge is not a declaration, but a question that keeps people engaged. It invites debate, patience, and emotional investment, all of which are essential ingredients in the culture surrounding this team. Whether the story unfolds exactly as imagined is almost secondary. What matters is that, for now, the rumor gives fans something to dream about, something to talk about, and something to believe could one day feel real under the bright lights of the Bronx. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The speculation continues to expand because stories like this never exist in isolation, especially when the Yankees are involved. Every generation of fans seems to crave a figure they can project their emotions onto, someone who feels destined for something bigger even before the evidence fully appears. With Spencer Jones, the rumor gains strength from the idea that he represents a bridge between eras, a player who could one day connect the dominance people remember with the success they still expect. Conversations start drifting toward how the organization might subtly prepare the audience for such a transition, not through announcements, but through silence and patience. Fans read meaning into every small mention, every understated compliment, every moment where the spotlight seems to linger just a bit longer. The rumor feeds on that interpretive instinct, where absence of noise becomes its own message. In this atmosphere, Jones becomes more than a prospect. He becomes a narrative device, a symbol of potential continuity. The idea of a new judge is not shouted. It is whispered, and those whispers feel more powerful because they invite people to lean in and listen closely, to imagine the future unfolding slowly rather than being handed to them outright. What truly gives this rumor its emotional depth is the way it mirrors the collective anxiety and optimism of the fan base. Supporting the Yankees means living with expectations that are always sky high, and the thought of the next great figure carries both excitement and fear. The speculation around Spencer Jones captures that duality perfectly. Fans are thrilled by the possibility of witnessing the rise of another iconic presence, yet cautious because they understand how unforgiving the spotlight can be. This tension makes the story compelling because it feels honest to the experience of following the team. The rumors suggest that Jones could grow into the role gradually, learning how to manage pressure, how to command attention without being overwhelmed by it. People imagine him finding his voice, his rhythm, and his confidence over time. In that sense, the idea of a new Judge becomes less about comparison and more about evolution, about allowing a new personality to emerge organically while respecting the weight of what came before. Ultimately, the rumor persists because it satisfies a deep-rooted desire for belief. Baseball, especially in New York, thrives on stories that extend beyond statistics and results. The idea that Spencer Jones could one day embody the same kind of presence that defines legends is powerful precisely because it is uncertain. That uncertainty invites imagination, discussion, and emotional investment. Fans talk about the future as if it is already forming, shaping their expectations around a player who symbolizes hope more than achievement. The Yankees, intentionally or not, become the stage for this ongoing speculation, knowing that such narratives keep the connection between team and supporters alive. Whether Spencer Jones ever fully steps into that role is something only time can answer, but for now, the rumor itself plays an important role. It reminds everyone why they watch, why they care, and why the idea of the next great Yankee will always be just as captivating as the legends who came before. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.